Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Riffs and Responses. So today I'm going to read and respond to some comments, and I'm going to do a couple of songs for you. So, stick around, and in between some of these comments I'll be playing some music for you as well. And I'm going to be using the JP-2c Plus through my Mesa 212 cab, and man, it sounds really good through all of the gear that I'm playing. The whole analog pedal board, everything, it just sounds killer. So I hope you enjoyed the songs. Alright, so let's get started with the first comment. This one is from James Brown. Yes, that James Brown, the guy who invented the 5150 amplifiers. How awesome is this? So he commented on one of my videos that I was doing about the Iconic, and he said, "Nice job. The big thing very few know is that the original 5150 block SIG 6505 has a thicker attack than all of the other 5150s. I tightened up the attack on the first combo, and all of the rest of the 5150s have used that version. That's why the 5152, EVH Stealth, and the Iconic all have a chunkier, punchy upper mids that feels much better and isn't soft and mushy, like the first. Most who use the OG also boost it for tightness." That's good to know. And thanks, James, so much for commenting on the video. I'm so honored that you watched my videos and that you commented on a bunch of them lately, and I really appreciate that very much. It's nice hearing from these amp builders because they can actually give you a lot of insight on what they did to these amps in the past. I mean, there's a lot of lore and legend and rumors about what's happened, but when you hear it from the actual guy who made the amp, that is really cool because it's the truth. So that said, I would really like to get a 5150 Mark II in here and see how that compares to some of the modern amps like the Iconic and the Stealth. That would be a really cool comparison. So if anybody watching this that lives near me in Michigan, feel free to reach out. The email's below, and I'd love to hook up with you and make this happen. That would be a really cool episode. Now, all that said, I still use a boost in front of my EVH amps, not because they're flubby or they're loose or anything like that. I just like how responsive and aggressive it makes the amplifier. It really reacts and responds to my playing exactly how I want it to. That's why I still use a boost. To each their own, but I'm always going to boost my amps because it really does enhance my playing. It doesn't cover up my mistakes, it's not cheating. It's really my way of getting what I want out of my amplifier, both on the feel side and sonically. Alright, so this next comment is from Tom Militello. I hope I pronounced your name right. He says, "What nobody seems to remember is the audience doesn't care about your gear. It sounds good or it doesn't. It's usually only guitarists that complain about a guitarist's tone, but they all think theirs is great and no one else cares." Well, Tom, thanks for commenting, and you definitely did make a lot of great points here, and I'm definitely not going to disagree with you. I'm basically going to add a little bit to what you're saying and give a little more context and perspective. So, tone is very important to all of us, okay? I mean, we all want to go on stage with the best tone, both for ourselves, so that we can enjoy hearing what we're hearing and get inspired by it, and for our audience. I mean, going on stage with bad tone is kind of like going to a party with a bad haircut. I mean, you know you look goofy, and you're not going to go up and talk to those people that you really want to talk to because you're embarrassed and you feel really, well, I don't know, you just feel you don't have any confidence. You know, you're going to always hide in the shadows and just hope for the party to end soon, because you literally do feel embarrassed walking around like that. And it's the same way with going on stage with really bad tone. You feel like you're up there just killing everybody with your horrible tone, and you know you're making people's ears bleed, and it sucks. And how confident can you be when you have crappy tones? So it definitely does have to sound good to you, and it also has to, of course, sound good to the audience. Because let's face it, the better our tone is, the better we're going to perform, and the more inspired we're going to be to go up there and perform. And we're going to have that confidence, and we're going to go up there and take those chances. And I mean, let's face it, the more confident you feel while you're on stage, the better you're going to perform. And having great guitar tone that you just love hearing while you're up there playing definitely does boost your confidence, which in so facto makes you play better and enjoy the experience more. And the better time you're having up there, the better time your audience is going to have as well. Now, that said, I mean, there are people that take it way too far. And there's guys that they just can't stop tweaking, and they just can't stop buying gear, and they're always fiddling with things, and to the point where it's like diminished returns, you know. And it just gets down to, look, man, once you're in a certain area, okay, of good tone, there's a pretty good amount of space there to, you know, move around in. And if you have good enough tone where you're not killing everybody's ears, and whether people like it or not is more of a subjective thing, just go up there and enjoy yourself and stop tweaking. Because, man, there's some people that have this mentality that, well, hey, I'm going to keep buying gear and trying this and shooting this out against that and turning knobs and trying these pedals and this guitar and these pickups and these strings and these picks. And I mean, it gets to the point where it's ridiculous. And they're like, yeah, and once I find tone nirvana, that's when I'm going to start writing and practicing. Like, dude, you got it all backwards. What you want to do is practice and become the best musician that you can be, and write and just enjoy the journey. And during that journey, because you're practicing and you're growing as a musician, you're going to have different wants and needs that are associated with your growth as a musician. And with that comes different gear and different tweaks on your tone. And as you're maturing, your tone will mature with you. Try not to get ahead of yourself with all of this, I gotta have the best tone in the world, and then I'll start practicing. I mean, because at the end of the day, when it comes to performing on stage, you can have the best tone in the world, but if you're not playing well through it, it all goes out the window. I'd rather have really good tone and be a better player because I had my priorities right than be an amazing player with crap tone that makes everybody's ears bleed. You know, so that's basically my philosophy on it. And again, you're never going to reach the point where you have the best tone in the world, because we're all tone chasers, and it's never going to end. I mean, John Petrucci just put up a video on Instagram yesterday where he found a new tweak on his amplifier where you bump the mids a little bit and then you get a different type of high end. And if you want, go on his Instagram and watch the video, and he's still tweaking and you know, doing stuff like that. So it's a perfect example of we're never going to reach the end of our tone journey, and thank God for that. But let's all try to keep it in balance and keep our priorities straight, and just practice. Work really hard on your riffs, your writing, your performances, and making sure that, you know, you're practicing up and staying tight with all the stuff that you're doing. And yeah, definitely keep your tone in mind, and you want to definitely have the best tone that you can at the time. But just remember something, the stuff that you're going to like right now and think, oh, I've arrived, a couple months from now, you're going to walk away from it and go into something else. And we're always tweaking and stuff, but just keep things in perspective. It really is about musicianship, not tonemanship. So I hope that helps some people out there that are constantly spinning around trying to find the best tone that they can. Again, there's a very wide spectrum of good tone, so as long as you're staying within that area, you're good. All right, this next question is from Joey Perez. He says, can the Captor X work with the Herbert Mark III? The 100-watt RMS makes me sketchy, even though they say it would work. I'm going to say a very hard no on that. I would not hook the Herbert Mark III up to the Captor X. You're either going to blow the Captor X or the Herbert itself, or both. The Herbert is a 180 watt amplifier. I'm pretty sure it's going to decimate that Captor X because it will not handle the juice that's going into it. Now, there's a workaround. You can pull 2 tubes out of the Herbert Mark III and make it into a 100 watt amplifier. And then at that point, theoretically, you should be able to hook it up to your Captor X. Now, definitely double check everything I'm saying. Don't take it as gospel, but check the manual on the Herbert and also read the manual or reach out to 2 Notes and make sure that that will work. I definitely don't want to steer you wrong, but theoretically, I think that would be a good workaround for you. You know, the thing is, the Herbert is an amazing amplifier, but there's a price to pay to have all that power. Sometimes things aren't going to work with other things because they just have too much power. But I'm really glad that Peter Diesel gave us a way around that by taking out 2 of the power tubes and bringing that power section down a little bit on the Herbert. Now, that said, I really wish that he would have just put a switch in there, a multi-watt switch, as opposed to taking out the tubes. But hey, it's not a perfect world we live in, and at least there is a workaround. Okay, this next comment is from Joey Palmer. He says, "What a great starting point for what I'm sure will be a monster of a rig. Also looking forward to pedal shootouts of your Boost OD pedals. I'm on the waiting list for the Duality DX and the Mud Killer. I already own the Eros TS9 and Precision Drive, but can't wait to see how they compare in your rig. As always, brother, a great video." Thank you so much, Joey. I really appreciate that very much. And yeah, so what he's referring to is the video I did when I got my whole analog pedal board put together, and I went live with it. And I'll tell you, I'm really enjoying this pedal board, and it's given me a chance to do a lot of pedal shootouts for you guys, because my previous pedal board, I could do that, but it would have been really difficult. Now I have a very modular pedal board. I can take things in and out very easily, thanks to Steve Shaheen for helping me hook this up. And I can do a lot of pedal shootouts for you, and I'm going to enjoy that, and I hope you guys do as well, because it's nice to do shootouts with affordable gear, so you can actually genuinely get excited about what I'm showing you, as opposed to, oh, check out this $4,000 amp, and you're sitting there going, yeah, that's nice. I can't get one of those right now. And there's a reason why I don't go to Ferrari dealerships, because I can't afford one, so why even go in there, right? So I just think it would be better for the channel and better for you guys and for myself to do pedal demos for a while. And I'll be doing them off and on for the next, for as long as I'm going to be here on YouTube, that is, because pedals are a lot of fun. I used to have a couple of pedal boards with all analog stuff on it back in the day, and I loved it because it's nice to just see something cool, go down to the store, maybe it's $100, $150, and you can afford it and take it home and really enhance your tone or have some great effects with it. And it's so nice to learn about affordable stuff that pretty much anybody can get, and it's right at our fingertips, So that's one of the reasons why I did that, and I'm really looking forward to doing a ton of pedal demos and shootouts for you guys, because again, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and all the pedals that I'll be reviewing are going to be attainable for most people. All right, and this next comment is from Tony Krozik. Hope I pronounced your name right. He says, brilliant software for that pedal. Wow, thanks a million for sharing the programmable versatility. I had no idea besides using the dial-in knobs on it. Gots to get me one of those. Sounds killer. Thanks a lot for commenting, Tony. I really appreciate that. So Tony's comment was on my video that I did about the TC Electronics Flashback 2 pedal. And, you know, I got to be honest with you guys too. Like, I literally had no idea what the capabilities of those pedals were. I got one because my buddy Steve Shaheen told me to get it, and he highly recommended it. And neither one of us had messed with the software at that point. I mean, we just heard stuff about it. And when I got it home and hooked it up to the computer, downloaded the software, and got in there, I mean, I couldn't believe how much tweakability it has. Because there's a lot of things I like about delay pedals, you know, that they do, but you got to get all these different delay pedals to be able to do those things. You know, you got to, you know, if I want one that's just got a really nice digital delay, well, I got to get this pedal, and then this one has a digital delay with mod or a tape echo or whatever, and then you got to have 10 delay pedals on your board, and it gets expensive, and it just becomes a pain in the rear end, you know, to be honest with you, having all that stuff and spending all that money. Where with the Flashback 2, if you want a delay pedal with mod, it's in there. If you want one with chorus or flanger or whatever, it's all in there. If you want just something really basic, you can do that too. If you want tape echo, you can do that as well. If you want reverse delay, you can also do that. I mean, all that stuff's in there. And then you have 3 slots on the pedal where you could program each slot to have a different type of delay for you. And I just think that's really handy. I love that fact. And I'm, you know, you guys know me, I'm a big options guy. So I love the fact that I have all of those options at my fingertips with one delay pedal. It really does come in handy. So if you haven't watched that video, definitely watch that. And I just kind of do a quick, you know, video on the software, and I just cover basically just a couple things that are available in there, and I just barely scratched the surface in that video. I mean, if I wanted to cover everything, it'd probably be a 4-hour video, and I'm not going to do that. But you can do that yourself. You can go in there after you get one of these pedals. I mean, they're 149 bucks. You know, so you can do that. You can get the pedal yourself, open up the software, and just go in there and have a blast looking at all the different things that you could do with these pedals. I can't recommend them enough. I've had a lot of fun with them, and I'm going to do more videos on them because I also have the Corona Chorus and I have the TC Electronic Dreamscape pedal as well, and they both have software that you can go in and create your own sounds with as well. Okay, and the final comment today is from ULFB. He says, great tip. Would be exciting with an update 2022. Kemper has developed over the years. If it's the same approach today. Cheers from Stockholm. Well, hey, thanks a lot for commenting. I really appreciate it. And what he's referring to is I did a video, I think it was like 2 years ago, 5 ways to make the Kemper sound amazing or something like that. And you know what? He's right. I should do an updated version of that video because the Kemper has changed over the years, and maybe I can come up with some new ways of tweaking your profiles to make your Kemper sound amazing. So stay tuned for that. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I love my Kemper, so why not get my gears turning again about making some more Kemper content for you guys, because there's a lot of people that watch the channel who play the Kemper, and I mean, I make profiles, so it would behoove me to make another video about the Kemper and, you know, give some help out there for people who enjoy theirs. Well, that about does it for this video, and I want to just thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all of my patrons and all of my subscribers as well. Thank you guys so much. It really means the world to me that you guys are here. And if this is your first time here and you haven't subscribed, please do, and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live on Wednesday night at 8 or Sunday night at 7 and come out with new episodes. Well, I got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I'll see you on the next one.